Why did the offensive line struggle so much? I don't believe that AP is, had some horrible day. I didn't see any holes.
No, I didn't either. It's something that I'll have a much better idea on after watching the coach's tape. But sometimes it's easy. Like they just didn't block. Like they didn't do the thing. It's like when you go play pickup and you just don't hit any shots. Like what happened today? I missed them all.
They just played poorly. Right?
Yeah, and that's really what it is. Like I don't think they were put. There were some times they were put in some bad spots, and honestly, a lot of those were just credit the Colts. Really well timed blitzes. There's a play in the second half where it's a play action, and Jeremy Sprinkle is lined up at tight end or at fullback, and he gets out, and it's just he runs right past the blitzer, and that's exactly what he's supposed to do. He's not supposed to chip. He's not supposed to block, and it's a 5-man protection and a 6-man pressure, and the 6th man timed his blitz so well that Alex never had a chance. And in theory, Alex has to get rid of the ball, but I mean, who knows what happens if he doesn't eat it there? It's just in that situation, it's a bad miss. So I think a lot of it was that the Colts had well-timed, well-executed blitzes, and then in the 4-man pressure situations, they flat out did not block well, and the same thing happened in the run game. They just flat out did not block as well as they did last week.
Yeah, it's not even close. What about the D-line? Another disappointing game. Both sides, I thought, of the line struggled, and we're still not getting any pressure, from our key guys that we need from Preston.
Is there
and
an injury to Kerrigan that we don't know about? It just seems like he's gimping around all the time.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything with Ryan, but I believe he goose-egged the entire stat sheet yesterday.
Yeah.
I think he had 0 tackles, 0 sacks. I know he had 0 sacks.
I think he had 1 tackle.
He may have had 1. I mean,
he had 1.
He just had a complete non-impact, and that's very non-Ryan Kerrigan. Even on games where he doesn't get a ton of pressure, doesn't get sacked, a lot of times he'll get pressures and be an impact in the run game and things like that. And he wasn't yesterday, and it's stunning because that offensive line is not that good. The Bengals dominated, and the Bengals have some really good defensive players. Obviously, Geno Atkins is about as good as it gets, but they had some flash plays. Jonathan Allen had the suplex of Marlon Mack. Deron Payne had a couple where he gets through, but the consistent dominance that you had against Arizona after that first drive, it wasn't there. And again, sometimes this sport is really, really simple, and there were some more nuanced things I think that happened yesterday. But at the base, and this is what I wrote about in my article afterwards, it was a fundamental loss. They could not block. They could not catch. They could not throw. And on defense, they could not get off blocks, defend the guys catching, or defend the guys throwing. And it really was, I think, a lot more fundamental yesterday than it was anything schematically, although maybe that was more offensively. Defensively, there were schematic things that I wonder if they would change if they had a second crack at it.
Craig, you pointed out in your 3 and Out article on thefandc.com that the defense is actually pretty good overall, but bad situationally. They only gave up 180 total yards to the Colts, but I thought the T.Y. Hilton touchdown was egregious, just letting him get wide open from 3 yards out. I know that the play call had something to do with that.
Poor communication.
But what did you think of the defense overall?
Yeah, I mean, it's those key third down situations, and they decided apparently that during the week man coverage was the way to go. And look, these guys are really smart. Minuski and crew are smart, and they've got smart players on that defense. But the man coverage leaves you susceptible to picks, and if you're gonna come into the game knowing that, you have to understand those things and that you don't get picked off. The first 2 first downs that the Colts, which was T.Y. Hilton on an under route where Josh Norman gets caught in a foot race, and Josh is never winning a foot race against T.Y. Hilton. He gets caught in the wash. And then the second one is a under route where you had 2 crossers. Jack Doyle was one. I don't remember who the receiver was coming the other way. But Monte Nicholson literally ran into Quentin Dunbar and fell down, and Jack Doyle's wide open on a third down to the very last, touchdown to T.Y. Hilton, where it's, again, out of a bunch formation, and it's a pick play. I think Ryan Grant dove at Fabian Moreau's feet, and it's legal. It's within a yard. And that one is like a block and creates traffic, and they don't pass it off. There's no communication. And then T.Y. Hilton's wide open in the end zone. Yeah. And it's a communication thing. But then I think it's the kind of thing where if you're a player, you go back and watch that tape and go, man, we stunk. We've got to be better. And if you're a coach, you watch back and you go, man, maybe we should have changed played some more zone, because then you just pass things off naturally. And so I'd be curious to ask Jay today, and I will when we talk to him at 3, like, do you wish you guys would have changed up strategy-wise on defense a little bit more? And, I think the answer can be both. I think both they wish they would have executed better, clearly, and communicated better as part of that execution. And also, I think they probably wish they would have changed the scheme to allow themselves a better chance at success once the Colts got going with those types of plays.